If you're new to the content, I first just want to say thank you for tuning in. My name's Eric, and my mission with Average to Jacked is simple. It's to help guys cut through the fitness influencer BS and finally build a physique they're proud of, all through simplicity. And the truth is, most fitness advice is from guys on steroids for guys on steroids. But what about the people who just want to look good for everyday life, like in regular clothes and jacked and lean with their shirt off? That's who my content is for. And my A2J channel started a little over a month ago and it's gained a ton of new subscribers. So I asked myself, if I could only give someone one single video that tells them exactly how to transform their body over the next 180 days, what would that look like? It's not gonna be a shred challenge. It's not a video on how to build an extra quarter inch on your bicep peak. I don't care about majoring in the minor things or getting super science based and optimal with my training. And of course, I still train smart and hard, but my content keeps people from what I call the weeds. And the weeds are where you go and get lost and end up frustrated. And that's basically just over consuming content from 10 different influencers. But this video isn't that. It's a straightforward, proven roadmap anyone can follow starting right now. It's gonna be a no BS, step-by-step game plan to get you jacked in the next 6 months. Now, obviously, I don't want this to be clickbait or try to sell you a dream. 6 months is honestly nothing in the grand scheme of things. Depending on your starting point, you're definitely gonna see some improvements in strength and muscle mass, but don't expect to look like you're about to step on a bodybuilding stage. That's probably not your goal anyway. I use 6 months because that's enough time to get the routine dialed in and actually move forward toward real results. And you absolutely will look different and see significant improvement. So I don't want you to get discouraged and think you can't make any gains. But remember, we are training for life on this channel, not a shred challenge. So let's dive in. Step one is training, and this is exactly what to do in the gym. We're going to talk about frequency and split. I'm going to give you two options. I'm not going to give you 10 because that's just going to overwhelm you like you probably are right now. So two options, an upper lower 4-day split, and then a push legs pull 3-day split. And this is what I'm currently following. And an upper lower example is Monday upper, Tuesday lower, Thursday upper, and then Friday lower. And then a push legs pull example, it's going to be Monday push, Wednesday legs, and then Friday pull. And then you just rest Saturday and Sunday. But you also have the option to just repeat every other day. So it could just be on, off, and just keep repeating that. Now, why have I only gave you two options with just 3 to 4 days a week? Is because you might think working out 6 days is better, but frequency is not as important as you think. And studies show that more volume and frequency can potentially build more muscle, but this is only going to work if you have the ability to recover. Just because you're lifting doesn't mean you're growing. So if you go in the gym and you lift more and you train more, does not mean you're growing. And most people's lifestyle is so busy and they're under recovering, they're under sleeping, and they're under eating. And it's like, no wonder you're not getting results. So just because you train more does not mean you're going to grow more. And I want you guys to trust me on this because throughout my 10 years of training, I've tried all the routines. And when you scale back your training and you train brutally hard on those 3 to 4 days, it's going to unlock a whole nother level of yourself. I've just experienced way more motivation to train, nearly zero injuries, and just consistent progression. But when I trained 6 to 7 days a week, I was constantly injured. I was fatigued all the time. I was burned out and I was just stalling. So don't knock it before you try it. And now that we've talked through the split, let's talk about the bones of the program, which is the exercises. And remember, I train to look good and be strong for everyday life. These are my favorite and go-to exercises that are going to get you jacked and aesthetic. I'm not focused on being a power lifter or stepping on a bodybuilding stage. So these are the exercises that built my physique after 10 years of training. So for upper body, we're going to start with chest, and that's the incline barbell bench press, incline dumbbell press, low to high cable fly, the incline machine chest press, and then incline machine fly or dumbbell if you don't have access to the fly machine. And for back, almost everything for me is wide grip. It's just my preference. So I'm going to do wide grip pull-ups, wide grip lat pull downs, chest supported T-bar rows, and then barbell rows. And for shoulders, we're going to be doing the barbell overhead press. You can also use a machine or dumbbells, cable lateral raises, machine rear delt flies, and then cable rear delt flies. And for arms, I'll keep it super simple. Incline dumbbell curls, cable curls, and then overhead cable tricep extensions and barbell curls. For lower body, you can do the back squat, pendulum squat, Romanian deadlifts, seated or lying leg curl, reverse lunges, either barbell or dumbbell, leg extensions, and then seated or standing calf raises, and then trap bar deadlift or the standard deadlift. And for abs, I only do two movements, and that's hanging knee raises and cable crunches. And I've honestly never really trained my abs consistently, but people always ask like what I would recommend. So hanging knee raises and cable crunch. Now let's talk about how to actually structure your training. So for upper day one, you're going to pick two chest movements, two back movements, one shoulder, one tricep, and one bicep. And you're going to do about 2 to 3 sets per exercise. But remember, when you're training with lower volume, your intensity has to be high. If you think you can just come in and do the same intensity you're using 6 to 7 days a week, which is probably not much, because if you were truly using high intensity, you would not be able to train that much. So lower volume, you must train hard. Upper day two, you can either repeat the same upper day one, or then you can rotate in some different exercises from the list that I gave you guys. So on lower day, you're gonna be doing two quad movements, two hamstring, and for the hamstrings, you wanna do one knee flexion, which could be like a leg curl, and then one hip hinge, which is like a Romanian deadlift, and then add in your calves, and then you can also hit abs on the lower day. And will I ever do other exercises? Absolutely. I'm experimenting with more now, but I wanna give you guys the fundamentals that I built my physique off of. As you get further in your training, like me and training for 10 years, it's kind of just for fun now. So I'm trying to just optimize and see like the best bang for my buck. So I'm constantly experimenting with different routines. And right now I'm just experimenting with super low volume and high intensity. And I'm honestly seeing the best gains in my life. So now we've just talked about how to actually structure a training day. And if all of this sounds good to you so far and you want the program like actually inside of an app or a spreadsheet where you can track it easily, then click the link below this video and you'll also get access to my nutrition protocol, grocery guide, my community, and then just tons of more value inside of my program. Now let's talk about how to actually progress in your plan, because without progression, there is no plan, there is no program. You're just following a list of exercises. This is a simple progression method, literally dummy proof. So we're gonna start with a weight that you can lift for 8 reps. Those 8 reps should be challenging when you start. But if you really were forced, if someone had a gun to your head and said, hey, I need you to get 10, you could do it. You don't wanna start out with doing 10, you wanna start out with 8 because you're gonna plateau. Then you're gonna add 1 rep each week to one or all of the sets, depending on where you're at in your journey. And when you hit 12 reps across all the sets, you're gonna increase the weight by 2.5 to 5 pounds, and then you're gonna drop back down to 8. I prefer to only increase reps when all 3 sets hit the same number. This is gonna avoid random fluctuations and keeps progression clean and simple. So after progression, let's talk about rest times. Super simple. Main movements, so like your compound, bigger movements, 2 to 3 minutes. And then on your accessories, like your lateral raises, your cable work, your curls, let's just start with like 1 minute and 30. Super simple. And then for the warm up, also nothing fancy. I get on the treadmill, I walk for 10 minutes to get my blood flowing. I do some band exercises that are gonna mimic that first movement. So it might be lateral raises, bicep curls, like a press, face pulls for a few sets. Once you've done some sets with the bands, you then go to your first movement. Do 3 to 4 ramping sets starting light and then building up to your working set. So let's say my incline bench is 80-pound dumbbells. I might start with the 20s for 5 to 6 reps, grab the 40s after a minute, 5 or 6 reps, grab the 60s for 2 to 3 reps. You're basically just ramping up over time. And that's it. I didn't tell you to do yoga or backflips or jumping jacks, just nothing crazy, just a simple warm up. Just get on the treadmill and then start mimicking your first movements with a lighter weight. And then you may have questions and be wondering, well, if I'm only training 3 to 4 days a week, like what can I do on my off days? That's where I just do daily walks. So the days that I'm not training, I do 2 walks. I do one in the morning and one in the evening. They're about 30 to 45 minutes, just super light. Throw on a podcast, audiobook, and just get outside, get sunlight. It's good for your overall health. And then you also, if you're at the gym, you could then throw in some cable crunches or your hanging knee raises and just not do them on your leg day. And the last part is just going to be on mindset. This is simple, but it's not easy, because if it was, everyone would have a 6 pack and everyone would be jacked. And then remember your why, because to become a new person, you need a goal and a vision. So whatever reason you clicked on this video and you're trying to become a better version of yourself, write your goal down and then read it every morning, and then keep it simple. If it's not in this video, you probably don't need it. Now, I know you're going to be wondering about nutrition and all these other things. That's all inside of my program. Like I said, I'm going to link it below, but it's literally a step-by-step system. It'll have this program and then also tons more, because everyone's situation is different, especially the equipment that they have. So if you're interested in checking that out and just learning more about my system, then click the link below. I appreciate you guys. Just implement the 4-day upper lower or the push legs pull. Give it time, stay consistent, and I promise you, you're going to see the best gains of your life.